Bismillah, alhamdulillah, wassalatu wassalam ala rasulillah wa ala alihi wa sahbihi ajma'een. Amma ba'd, brothers and sisters, assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Today, inshallah ta'ala, I'm going to speak about the subject of taking notes, as some of my students have requested this. So I'm going to give a few tips, pointers regarding the issue of taking notes, specifically for the study of Islamic sciences, but not only. You can technically apply this to the study of all types of sciences, but obviously our main concern today is studying Islamic sciences. So the first thing that I'm going to mention is everything that I'm going to say on this topic and in this video, for the most part, is from the perspective of advice. Meaning this is not Quran and Sunnah. Meaning you can do your own thing, you don't have to agree with me, you don't have to take my advice if you don't want to. But this is my advice based on my personal experiences studying in Medina, and also the advice given to me by my teachers, or some of my teachers, and some of my mashayikh. And again, what's the goal, what's the objective? Is to take notes in the best way and the most beneficial way possible, so that we can go back to these notes and, take the information, the knowledge from them that we need. Now, before even taking notes, you have to ask yourself important questions. How will you even study such and such topic or such and such book that you intend to cover? Will it be live, in person, or will it be online? Will you have a physical book, or will you be doing it on a computer with a PDF? Like, all of these are important questions in order for you to know what is the most beneficial way possible to take notes. Okay, so let's say you are studying a book, for example, a book of fiqh, or a book of aqidah, or a book of hadith. If you have a physical copy of the book with you, and it has space, and this is the case for most books, then I 100% recommend writing inside of the book. Now, I know a lot of brothers have an issue with this. A lot of brothers are like, man, this is a nice book, the pages are so nice, the setup is so nice, how can I corrupt it by writing inside of it with a pen? Because I recommend doing so with a pen, not a pencil. And the answer to this is you are not corrupting the book or messing it up by writing inside of it. Rather, you are making it better, making it more beneficial. You are adding notes to it, notes from your teacher that you yourself will revise, and that maybe one day you will teach using that same book. In fact, one of my teachers in Kulliyah in Medina, in the faculty of Shariah, he was a teacher in Usul, and he used to come to class and teach from his book. And one day he told us, I still have in this book the notes of my mashayikh that taught me in kulliyah, and now I am teaching you guys. Do you see here how ilm, knowledge, is a tradition that continues? So basically, I have the notes of the sheikh of my sheikh, and possibly his sheikh, and going all the way back, and who knows how far it can go back. This is the continuation of the tradition of ilm. This is one of the things we mean when we talk about the importance of the sanad and the chain of transmission. On top of that, we see that many of the mashayikh, the scholars, they do this. They take a pen and they write notes in their book, in the physical copy of their book. And many of them seem to have no qualm with this, because there are many benefits linked to this. One of my teachers, Sheikh Abdul Hamid al-Husari, actually recommended this, and one day he told us, Al-awraqu tufqad wal-kutubu tabqa. Books remain, but papers get lost. Papers, notebooks, and all of this. So ask yourself the question, how many times have you written notes inside of a notebook, and today you have no idea where that notebook is? Or how many times have you went to a dars, or a high school, or whatever, university, and you've written notes in a paper, you can't find that paper? Now, can you say the same for a book? A book is different. A book has value. It remains. It remains in the library or in your house. For the most part, it doesn't get lost. So if you write notes in your books and you have your own library, which is something, by the way, that every Muslim should strive for, having their own library of ilm. If you do that, then those notes will pass down to your children, to the next generation, who will also have access to that library, inshallah ta'ala. And then will pass on to their children, and so on and so forth. Can you say the same for notebooks, for papers? No, we cannot. And this is why, to me, the golden rule and the golden principle is that one should write notes in their books, the physical copies of their books, with a pen and not a pencil, because a pencil, after a while, when you write with a pencil, it gets erased. One time, one of my teachers mentioned that a student handed in the exam, and he wrote on the exam with a pencil. And he responded to the questions with a pencil. The teacher put this paper in the back of his car, the sunlight hit it, or it was affected by the sunlight or the heat, or something happened, and then khalas, what he wrote with the pencil on that paper was completely erased. By the way, I always wonder if that student got to retake the exam or not. Al-Muhim, this to me is the golden rule, the golden principle. Whether you are studying a book online or live in person, I recommend writing in that book directly. But obviously, this can't always be done. Sometimes we don't have the physical copy with us, but we do have the PDF. So here the advice can change. So in a situation where you are studying something that is in computer format, for example, with a PDF, online, on the computer, then here what I recommend is to write and take notes directly on the computer. And this can have many benefits as well. Why? Because our world, let's be honest, is going more and more towards everything being computerized. And if we are well organized, then notes on a computer, in a hard drive, or stored in the cloud can remain and can be preserved. But obviously, books are better. That is our tradition. But I would say that notes on a computer is the next best thing after books. And again, this may depend on the situation or the context. So for example, if you are in a live class with an actual teacher or sheikh in person, then, and you have the physical copy of the book, by the way, as well with you, then here you wouldn't take your computer to the class and, type up the notes and stuff like this. Which is why, interestingly enough, in Medina, you never really saw people come to class with their iPad or their computer and take notes. And very rarely did a student there take notes with their phone. I mean, even though it's in a university and the setting is technically academic, you still have the chance there and the choice to be in a traditional type of environment with the book, the sheikh, etc. So if you're able to do your studies traditionally, then why not do so? And look, at the end of the day, do whatever works best for you. I've given you some general pointers, some general advices, but whatever works best for you and is most beneficial for you in terms of taking notes, then you should go with that. As long as the objective is fulfilled, which is you have access to your notes, they are clear, they can be easily preserved, then bi'idhnillahi ta'ala, there is no problem with however way you do it, as long as it is beneficial for you. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala make it easy for all of us. جزاكم الله خيرا. أقول قولي هذا أستغفر الله لي ولكم فاستغفروه إنه هو الغفور الرحيم وآخر دعوانا أن الحمد لله رب العالمين.